Good morning, students. Welcome back to another session of current affairs. Right, in this session, we will discuss one important development that has occurred, and actually, it was kind of invisible because all of us we were focused on another development, important development that was taking place. That is tensions between India and Pakistan, and India conducting this Operation Sindhu in response to the inhuman attack in Pahalgam on Indian tourists or on civilian tourists. Okay, so in that backdrop, this another important development, that is Operation Black Forest or Mission Sankalp. It was kind of invisible, but from the point of view of UPSC examination, and as a general matter also, you should be knowing what is Operation Black Forest and what is Mission Sankalp. Okay, right. You see, Operation Black Forest was a anti-Naxal operation. You might have read in the newspapers. It is an anti-Naxal operation conducted by security forces. Okay, you see here, not a single security force was involved. It is a combination of operation with a combination of several security forces. Predominantly, whenever you are talking about anti-Naxal operations, CRPF will come into picture. Okay, Central Reserve Police Force. CRPF was, of course, the major component, and apart from that, several other security forces were there, or you will call them as paramilitary force also. CRPF, then Cobra is also there. Cobra force was there, and from the state of Telangana, okay, Greyhounds was involved. We will know a little bit more about Greyhounds. What is the force? What is its speciality? How successful it was against the anti-Naxal operations in both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. It was created when the state was united. Okay, Greyhound force, which was very much successful in addressing the problem of Naxalism in the state. Okay, apart from that, state police forces have also participated. Right. Apart from that, for each and every district, the district, some district guards were there. Okay, so those other paramilitary forces were also taken part in this operation. Okay, so what is the operation is about? You see, this is an operation conducted for 21 days. Somewhere around 21st April it has started, and you can say just 1 to 2 days before the Pahalgam attack. So after that, continuously the focus was on the Pahalgam incident, and media also focused on that incident. That's why we could not get that much information, or focus was not there in this. Okay, so it lasted until 11th of May. Okay, so approximately it is for 21 days. Where the operation has took place, it has taken place in a place called Karregutta. Remember, this is a local name. Karregutta means Black Hill. Okay, Black Hill. If you translate it into English, it is Black Hill. Hence the name of the Operation Black Forest. Okay, and apart from that, we are calling this as Mission Sankalp also. Right. What is the geographical feature of Karregutta or Black Hill? You see, it is a densely forest region. Where it is located? It is located in the border of Telangana and Chhattisgarh, and you can include another state also. Maharashtra is also included if you are talking about this place. Okay, Karregutta Hill. So it is a border region of these three states. So you can call it as tri-junction of these three states, which is characterized by dense forest. Length of the forest is being said that it is 60 kilometers, and it is width of the hills is 5 to 7 kilometers. Because of these specific geographical features, this region, Karregutta region, in the tri-junction of these three states, has become a foothold of okay, foothold of the CPI. Okay, CPI, Maoist insurgency activity, or instead of calling this as insurgency, you can call it as left-wing extremism activities. Okay, within the Communist Party, there is a special splinter group, that is People's Liberation Guerrilla Army, PLGA. Okay, so this Karagutta region has become the stronghold of this PLGA Battalion 1. Okay, Battalion 1, which is headed by a women leader. Her name is just it went out of my mind. I will tell the name of the leader. Right, Hidma Madhvi. Remember, try to remember the name. Hidma Madhvi was the leader of Battalion 1 of People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. Okay, so this is the factual information you have to know. Right. It was conducting many operations. The Battalion 1 is known for its activities. It was, giving lot of resistance to security forces. So with special purpose or with the clear goal that the security forces have to remove or eliminate this Battalion 1 of PLGA, the security forces have targeted this region. Okay, so this we can say this is a success for the security forces, and of course also for the central and state governments, if they are targeting Naxalism and attacking Naxalism, and if they if their goal is to eliminate the Naxalism by force, we can say it is a success for the security forces. Okay, and also for the central government and state government, and it goes along with the decided target of the central government and home ministry, that Naxalism in the country has to be eliminated, or the country will be made Naxal free by March 31st. Okay, 2026. This is the target decided by the Home Minister Amit Shah. Okay, he promised the nation that Naxalism will be eliminated by the country or from the country by 31st March 2026. Accordingly, if you see the recent reports that earlier some 100 plus Naxals, some 100 plus districts used to be Naxal affected in our country. You might have heard the words like, this red corridor starting from Bihar, going deep into the Nepal to Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, then West Bengal, together until Telangana, Srikakulam part of Andhra Pradesh, and into the heartland of Telangana, and some of the skirmishes we used to see in Kerala also, deep Kerala also, and with that Maharashtra, some parts in Maharashtra were also included. So this red corridor used to be the breeding center for Naxalism, and recently, just 1 month back, the Naxal infected districts, how number of them has come down from 100 plus to approximately 4 or 5 districts only, according to the report released by the Home Minister. It has confined to some 4 to 5 districts only. In these districts only, the Naxals are active. In all other areas, they have kind of either in back step, or they have been neutralized. Okay, so this is the information you have to know about the Operation Black Forest or Mission Sankalp. Factual information I have given. If you further want to go into the details what has happened in this mission, it is being said that 31 Maoists or Naxals have been killed, means they have lost their lives. In this, 17 were women. Okay, so what you are understanding by this figure, you see women participation is also very much high in the Naxalite. I mean, they constitute a major component in the Naxalite or left-wing extremism. Okay, so 17 of them were women. Okay, altogether 31 Maoists have been killed, and the security forces have also suffered losses. It is being said that 3 greyhounds personnel have lost their lives, and some 18 people have injured. Security forces have injured. They have suffered injuries, or they have sustained injuries. What are the other achievements of the mission? from point of view of losses to the Naxalites, you see it is said that 12,000 kgs of material, including medicines, okay, explosives, improvised explosive devices, several things, ammunition, it has been captured. Then 40 plus these weapons have been captured in this way, and many dumps have been identified and they have been recovered. Okay, so altogether you can say it is a very big hit to the People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. There is no doubt in it. Okay, so we can say with this operation, the stronghold at Karaguta for this CPIM or for Naxalites has been hit hard. Okay, so the group has been dismantled, or it has now divided into several fragments. Now they can no longer stay here and conduct their activities. In this way, we can say it is a very big hit to the Naxalites and their operations in our country. Okay, so if you go a few years back, like when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, in a particular speech, he said that Naxalism is the major threat faced or major internal threat faced by the country. So for Naxalism, Dr. Manmohan Singh has put Naxalism as the primary threat, internal threat that the country was facing. Okay, so from that point of view, you understand, we can say it is a success for the security forces and for the central government also and for states also. Okay, right. So we will now little bit move forward and we will understand other things like what are the other takeaways, important takeaways of this mission, right? Right. You see, one thing we have to understand, if you have to understand the takeaways, okay, the reasons for success of this mission, you have to understand. Earlier, it was very difficult to conduct the anti-Naxal operations because they were hiding in the forest. It's very difficult to find out them and conduct the operations. Okay, so more than the losses to the Naxals, the security forces had to suffer losses. Means number of security personnel died was always more than the number of Naxalites neutralized. But because of the latest technological developments, especially the surveillance technology, okay, because of the development of drones, etc., the surveillance technology has improved a lot, and combined with this technological advancement, surveillance technology compiled with the ground level intelligence or on ground intelligence by the human beings, we can attribute the success of this mission to these factors. Okay, especially the improvement of surveillance technology. Okay, second thing is we can attribute this success to interagency cooperation. Okay, interagency cooperation. Like I told in the beginning, the mission is not just conducted by single security agency, CRPF. Of course, CRPF will be the dominant or predominant force when you are talking about anti-Naxal operations. But apart from CRPF, we have seen several other forces. Okay, Cobra forces we have seen, then Greyhounds. Okay, you see, once upon a time, the undivided Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it used to be a breeding center for Naxalism. It was a Naxal stronghold, especially the Telangana region and the coastal or the not coastal but the northern part of Andhra Pradesh, that is Srikakulam, Visakhapatnam, Vijayanagara region, which had borders with both Chhattisgarh and Odisha. This region used to be very much, stronghold of Naxalites. But ever since the creation of the Greyhounds, it has been created somewhere around 2000s. little bit here and there between 1990s and 2000. Since then, ever since, the greyhounds has become a, what should I say, a reason for decline of Naxalism in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Okay, so greyhounds were very much successful in eliminating the Naxalism in the Andhra Pradesh state by using force. So greyhounds have become a example and the best case study as to how the Naxalism has to be addressed in the country. Several other states have taken inspiration from greyhounds. Okay, right. So you can attribute the success of these missions, this mission to these two important factors. After that, you can also see the resolve of the government or security forces to eliminate Naxalism by any means at any cost. That is how the government is, that is how the commitment of government is now. Okay, irrespective of casualties, the government is determined to eliminate Naxalism. Okay, then apart from that, briefly you can also attribute the reasons for the declining attraction for the left-wing ideology. Okay, declining attraction towards left-wing ideology, because the integrity and the commitment, whatever the values the left-wing extremism was advocating, they have waned. People are not that much integrated now, who are looking after the movement, or who are there with the movement, associated with the movement, and combined with that, the development efforts made by the government may be providing, going deep into the tribal areas and interacting with the tribals, taking the developmental, giving them things like education, health facilities, etc., weaning away them from the Naxalist ideology or Maoist ideology. Those are also bearing fruits. Because of all these reasons, we can say the Naxalism is on back foot in the country. Okay, but however, we have to see certain aspects, like when you are doing the critical analysis of the topic, you have to see certain aspects, like why on the in the first place, why there is Naxalism in the country. Okay, you have to understand that the reasons we know very well why there is Naxalism in the country. Okay, all the factors, including historical factors, socio-economic factors, we will see. While there was Naxalism, there was lot of support for the Naxalism because of the failure of land reforms. Okay, so while land reforms failure is attributed to Naxalism, because there were several people who were landless. The goal of the aim of the land reforms was to take away the land, that is excessive land that is there with the landlords, and distribute it among the landless people, poor people. But in many states, the land reforms have failed. The poor people further remained poorer, and the landlords or zamindars, they were successful in retaining their huge lands. So this is one major reform. It led to economic inequalities. Okay, then exploitation. Okay, exploitation. Then what should I say, exploitation, or this suppression, especially of the lower sections of the society, like scheduled caste people and scheduled tribal people. Okay, then apart from that, the atrocities committed on another major reason is atrocities committed on the scheduled caste people, scheduled tribal people, even on women. Okay, by the upper caste people, even sometimes. Okay, even sometimes by the authorities. Authorities means local government employees, like police personnel, revenue department people. They are known for committing atrocities on the lower sections of the society. This is also a predominant reason. Modern day, of course, land reforms, we can attribute this reason to Naxalism of 1970s and 80s. But nowadays, if you are seeing Naxalites means young people joining Naxalite movement means this is the major reason. Atrocities committed by the upper caste people and especially atrocities committed by the authorities, the own government authorities like police personnel, okay, revenue department officials, okay, on lower caste people like scheduled caste, scheduled tribal, and scheduled tribal people and women. This is the major reason that is driving the young minds, young people into the Naxalite movement. Okay, so apart from that, you can see the developmental activities are not okay. Developmental activities are not being realized in interior tribal regions. The state machinery do not reach there. Even if it reaches, instead of serving the tribal people, they commit atrocities most of the times. Because of that reason also, you will see Naxalism. So they will see Naxalites as saviors. Okay, that was earlier. But nowadays, Naxalites are forcing the young people to join in their movements. So they are facing the tribal people are facing the wrath of both the government and the Naxalites. Most of the times, the tribal people are sandwiched between, on one side, the authorities, that is security forces, and the other side, the Naxalites. Okay, sometimes young people are forced to join the forces, otherwise the Naxalites target that we will kill you if you don't join, or if you support the government, we will kill you. With that fear, some of the young people are joining the movement. Okay, so you can attribute the Naxalism in the country to these reasons, including the historical reasons or originating reasons to the modern reasons. Okay, right. Anyhow, so what government is trying to do, whether government wants to follow only the force, is it the ideal way? Of course, the force, applying force, or and addressing or suppressing the Naxalism can be a solution. But but one thing we have to understand that force is not only the solution. Force is not the only solution to address the problem of Naxalism. Okay, but with the force, you may achieve only temporary success. If you really want to address the problem like Naxalism, you have to understand the basic reasons or fundamental reasons. Okay, root causes of the Naxalism in our country. So what are the root causes? Just now I have mentioned, that is inequality. Okay, inequalities, economic and social inequalities that are there in society, especially in tribal regions. Okay, then lack of development. Okay, then the atrocities. The atrocities have to go away. The authorities shall not be suppressing or committing atrocities on the people, especially the tribal people. Okay, then you have to take up basic developmental aspects like providing education for them, at least basic education, then providing health facility, maybe providing drinking water for them. Okay, and develop some sort of infrastructure there, maybe a road. If at all they need to go to a nearby village or town, you provide a road facility for them. Okay, and maybe building a mobile network, so then they can start using their mobile phones. If you give the tribal people these basic facilities, then you will be successful in addressing Naxalism in the country. Okay, right. So you have to provide them some sort of livelihood also. Okay, so these are first fundamental things. These things you have to address. Okay, of course the government is doing with a program called as Samadhan. Okay, we have started a program called as Samadhan. So based on that, the government is trying to do that also. Okay, and the strategy of the government now has to change. Instead of simply applying force, the government has to follow the carrot and stick policy. Okay, first it has to offer incentives if people want to leave the path of Naxalism and join the mainstream, join the society. Okay, so there should be a attracting this policy of leaving the Naxalism and coming into the mainstream life. The government should provide these opportunities, and the focus shall be on, like I've told before, development. Okay, so this should be the strategy of the government instead of simply focusing or applying force and eliminating the Naxalites. Of course, after all, they are also citizens of the country, they are also our people, so you should give them proper opportunities, okay, alternative solutions for addressing the problem of Naxalism. Okay, so you have to encourage them to leave the policy of extremism, leave the weapons, and come and join the mainstream. You can, if they want, you can join. If they want, they can join the politics, and through the democratic process, they can fight for their rights, whatever the rights that are being violated. They can fight for that rights. Okay, that is one solution government can focus on. Okay, and finally, I would say that the final solution is development. The government has to focus on bringing development into those areas. Okay, by properly implementing the Panchayati Raj, establishing the Panchayati Raj institutions there, realizing the goal of local self-government, taking the basic developmental aspects to that region, etc. If we focus on these aspects, definitely the tribal people will be weaned away from the Naxalites, especially what should be the goal? That is winning the focus should be on winning the hearts and minds. Okay, winning the hearts and minds of the tribal people. If you are successful in this, definitely the Naxalism will decline in the country. Why the Naxalism is surviving in our country? Because whatever may be the reason, still the tribal people believe Naxals than they believe in government officials. Means they don't believe in government officials. Instead, they believe in Naxalites. Why? Because maybe in the past the Naxals have helped, and the government officials have suppressed these people, committed atrocities on them. Because of all these reasons, now fundamentally the people are weaned towards the Naxalites. Okay, so what should be your final goal? You should win the hearts and minds of the tribal people. You have to win these tribal people towards your side. Okay, then support will decline for the Naxalism, and the Naxalism will gradually get eliminated from our country. Okay, so this should be the long-term final goal for the security forces or for the government when we are talking about the addressing the problem of Naxalism in our country. This is the policy that government has to follow. Okay, and there are action models are already there, like Saranda model or Saranda action plan. What is Saranda action plan? You see, Saranda district was a district in Jharkhand which was earlier known for Naxalite activity, but security forces have captured this region. But after that, they just did not leave that place like that. The several interventions were there, like providing drinking water, establishing a school, establishing a community health center or primary health center or sub health center, then providing some sort of livelihood for the people, developing livelihood activity in that district. Okay, so what shall be the strategy? Once you remove the Naxalites from that region, you have to bring in overall development in that region or that district. Okay, then only the anti-Naxal operations will survive, and we can bring in the actual development in the country. Okay, so this should be the strategy of the government. Then only we can thoroughly and completely fight out the Naxalism. Otherwise, these things will remain just a minor successes in anti-Naxalism operations, and once again the Naxalism will breed. Youth will get attracted to Naxalism if these underlying problems are not addressed. Okay, so this is what you have to learn from the point of view of the GS paper 3 internal security. In that left-wing extremism topic is there. From that point of view, you should have a holistic understanding of the topic. Okay, so not only here, you can use this as a case study whenever there is a related question in essay also, and you can use it as a case study in ethics paper also. Okay, so in other areas also this development is or this operation is very important. So try and remember the details, and finally the critical analysis of the issue. Okay, so this is it for today. See you.